Good morning. I believe it's still morning. I haven't looked at the clock in a little bit, but uh, it's really dreary today, and it's raining. And I got up real early again as usual. Um, got a lot of things going on inside of me right now, and some of it I can deal with, and others I can't. I certainly can't deal with this weather, but I put a short out a while back telling you that I was going to do a video on Sammy sung soon. I've had many dogs in my life, and they were all good dogs. Some people took them away from me, and some I had to get rid of them to save their life. And others, they got sick and had to go away. But back in the year 2000, I've had two best dogs, and out of all the dogs that I've ever had, two of them couldn't beat the kind of friendship I got from them. Now, I did have one other one, and her name was Crystal. And maybe I'll do a video on her. But so Sassy and Sammy sung soon. I had Sammy sung soon before I got Sassy, and I was in my own business, and I had a dog kennel, and I was raising and selling different uh, breeds of dogs. And I run across the Yorkies, and a friend of mine that was in the business too. She had some Yorkies, and she sold me one at the age of 4 weeks old. I took it home, and it wasn't but that big. Walking around all underneath me and stuff, and it was just the cutest thing. And it took me 3 days to name him, and I named him from a brand of TV, Sung 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 Soon, or Soon Sung, yeah, Sung Soon. It was some kind of a TV or something, but it was that technology. And so I thought, well, I like that name, so I come up with Samee, SameeSunGSoon. And you had to have three names for him because you got him registered, right? So I uh, I named him Sammy Sungsun, and he I hardly ever had to do anything to potty train him. He just seemed to be so smart. And of course, and I was living in a very dysfunctional marriage at the time, but um, things would bounce back and forth in different areas and stuff. But he grew up with me, and I had to, well, I let go of him a couple of times, but um, the last time I had to let go of him, I went, and the reason why I had to let go of him was because I moved into an apartment that wasn't going to take dogs, but I had left him with my husband at the time, and I got word that he wasn't treating him right, so I went and got him and brought him back to the apartment. And then when the landlord come, I said, "This is what happened. I'm going to keep him." So he let me keep him, But he was just a joy, and he was such a protective little fella, and beautiful, beautiful. I'll put a picture on as a thumbnail um, when I'm doing after I've got this done. But um, I was his queen. I don't know. I mean, if somebody was around it, he thought it was going to hurt me, he'd put them in their place right now. And so then there was different places I moved, and he'd move right with me. Didn't never have to really scold him or anything like that. He potty trained himself, and you know how dogs like to chase cats. Well, one time he started chasing cat, and all I had to do was go and he'd stop. Wouldn't chase him no more. He was just a jewel. And I don't know how old he was when I got Sassy. Now Sassy, I didn't buy her. Somebody just thrust her to me when I inquired about her, and she flew right in my arms, and she's been there ever since. So them two got along really good. And, he never bothered her. Uh, you know how male dogs will do. He never bothered her like that. And so I had bought a trailer, and I lived in a trailer park, and we met. I got word that there was another trailer for sale, so I went and looked at it, made an offer, and I bought it for $3,200. Of course, it needed some work done on it, and we moved in it. Me, Sammy Sung Soon, and Sassy, and we lived there for, oh Lord, 5 years, 4 years, and just one day out of the blue, he was standing there eating, and well, he had congestive heart failure, so I had to keep him on water pills, and but he was doing good. I mean, as long as I kept the water pills in him, he was doing great. Well, one day he was standing there eating, and all of a sudden he just started a big rush of blood coming out of him, big puddle all around him. And I panicked. I didn't know what to do. I grabbed him up and rushed him to my vet, and there was no doctor there. It was just the lady that usually dealt with us, and if we needed meds and stuff like that. And she said, "I can't do anything for you. I'm here." I said, "You got to be kidding me. He's bleeding to death." Well, I finally talked her into taking him in and putting him in, and they put an IV in him. And um, so I went home, and the doctor came in and looked at him and said he has a tumor between his liver and his uh, gallbladder. And there wasn't really much said about it. They give him the IV and everything, and I had to go get him and bring him back home. Nobody said, well, do this or do that or nothing. And for a week, I watched him. He was such a good dog. When he had to go to the bathroom, I had carpet, but the kitchen was linoleum. And he would get up and walk himself across there and do his business in the kitchen. And of course, there was blood, always blood. and he'd go lay down. And you know, they don't like to be bothered, but he didn't mind me going over. I mean to tell you, I screamed and I cried all the time, and there was nothing I could do for him. And finally one day I said to myself, I said, there has to be something they can do. There has to be something. And I called him up and I said, is there, I mean, can the tumor be taken out? Well, because of his age, he was 15, and yeah, we can do that. Well, I said okay, so in we went. My sister went with me, and I'm holding him in a blanket. Of course, it's all I can do to get through the ride there, and we get in there and take him in, and the doctor said, you know, I said, yeah, I know there's a risk, but we got to do something. We can't just leave him uh, suffer like this. And so he said he went and got a shot to calm him down, and gave him a shot. And oh God, and I still see this today. I can't get that picture out of my head. I handed him to the doctor after I said how wonderful he had been for all those years, and I handed him over to the doctor, and he looked at me. That look in his eyes. He was telling me goodbye. I'll never forget that look. Never, never, as long as I live. So I had to let him go. He went and took him in the back. And me and my sister drove me home, and I was sitting there, and it took me about, I don't know, it was probably about a half an hour, 45 minutes till we got home, and we're sitting there talking a little bit, and they called. They said he'd passed. He passed before they even had a chance to do any kind of surgery. And that look, I'll never forget that look. So I go home naturally, and I'm having a fit. Sassy's running around, and she's all confused and don't know what's going on. And I'm just sitting there, just screaming and crying, and I said, if I could just hold him one last time, just hold him one last time. And now, Sammy had this habit. When he wanted my attention, he'd come over and he'd sit up on his back legs and go like that to me. And of course, I'd pick him up and hold him and stuff. Well, while I was sitting there screaming and crying and saying, if I could just hold him one last time, just one last time, Sassy came over, sit down in front of me, and did that. Sit up on her. Never done that before in her life. Never. And I picked her up, and I cried, because Sammy let me hold him one last time. And So to this day, Sassy has, I call her Sassy Sammy, Sammy Sassy, and but I don't know. But it was about a week, 2 weeks after that, and man, I'm sitting there so missing him so bad, and I wanted to be able to see him. And I looked up in the air, and it was like there was an edge there. And here comes Sammy. He come walking over to the edge, and he looked down at me. And this was no dream. He looked down at me and wagged his tail, said hi, and turned around and fled off. He's just as happy as could be. So here we are today. And Sassy's 17. She's got a cough, like as if she might have uh, uh, congestive heart failure, but it's not bad. It's not bad, but she's pretty good. I mean, uh, and I don't think I'd be able to go through that again. But we all know it's going to happen, and so I tried not to think of it. But I had Sammy cremated, and they give me a little bit of his hair, and of course his car. And, it's in a can, and I've got it sitting in there. So whenever I want to, I can just look at him, and he's there. And I felt somewhat better after I got him, picked him up, and brought him home. Uh, uh, so I don't know if I can face another one. And just I've never really had what you call human friends. No human friends, not what you want to call human friends. But I just know that if I was to this day, if I was to uh, be lucky enough to acquire a friend, I mean a true friend, I don't think I could handle it if something happened to the friend, because I'm very I'm an emotional person. I feel very deeply, and um, it's hard just even thinking about having a best friend and possibly losing them, like I lost my Sammy. So I've got other little stories about Sammy. He was just an awesome little dog. And I got stories about Sassy. Sassy would go anywhere with me uh, that I asked her to. And so, but that's my this is my film for the day, and um, if I can get through the rest of the day now without thinking about that and seeing that look, but I wanted to let you know. I mean, you know a lot of other things about me, but I'm I, I'm a dog lover. I love animals, and I love people. And if I was ever to acquire a good friend like that in a human, I couldn't stand it if I lost them. couldn't stand it if I losing my family. So I just hope that anybody out there that's lost a pet, which, and I know that there is thousands of people that lost their pet, and a lot of people say, and then when you do, they want to replace it with, no, you can't replace a pet anymore, and you can replace a human being that was in your life. So, um, but I had Sassy, and the creator provided me with Sassy long enough in advance that I had her and didn't have to deal with training her or anything, and because the creator knew Sammy was going to go. So, but that's my video. This is my video, and uh, um, I put out a few shorts this morning just to have, get something out there. Um, but I'm gonna try to. I got me some of them green hanging things that I'm gonna hang the bulbs up with. Probably at the end of this month, I'll do a Christmas video. And unless I can do that. I can do that while I'm decorating the tree, and then maybe do a Christmas video at Christmas. So, but I hope you enjoyed this. Like and subscribe and comment and do all the good stuff. And a merry heart doeth good like a medicine, but a broken spirit will dry up your bones. So have a merry, merry, merry heart. Be happy. Enjoy the people you're with. Enjoy your friends. Don't look for flaws in them, and love them for who they are. And love your family. Love your pets. Take really good care of your pets. So we'll talk to you later. If you think you can, if you think you can't, you're right.